Well, D. McClung Archer Monologues. This is, what? May 28th, 2020. And it happens to be about 1:45 a.m. So, got anything I want to talk about? I asked myself. Yeah, well, I've got about 5 pages of talking points, and I can't think of anyone in particular that stands out at the moment. I do know this. The one I recorded last night didn't record. 43 minutes of silence. Absolute silence. How could that possibly be? Should be some indication that things are working. I was using an app here for recording, and it was for my podcast host, but apparently that button doesn't work the way it said it worked. Presented it working, but it didn't. And that's kind of odd. I don't know why. So anyway, that's lost, and I'll have to do it again. Fortunately, I have that written down, or scripted as it were. The ad-libs might be a little bit more difficult to come up with, because I usually don't remember things once I record them. It's kind of funny, but that's the way it works. That's the way it works. Always been that way. It's not like a new thing. It's not like I've grown senile or anything. Unless I was senile at the age of 30, not senile. So anyway, it's a little late for doing a show tonight, so I'm not doing one. But what am I doing? Well, I'm checking out the recorder, for one thing, and the mic, and seeing how it works. And I'm thinking that, I'll just have to put it off till tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll do an episode, and it won't be silent. And I'll have something to say about one of these topics on my list. But some of the things on the list. Well, let's just talk about that. Some of the list things. Where's my list? All right. Ouch. I won't tell you. I just caught myself on fire. All right. Some things that I want to talk about. Going to talk about them. Each one of them. That's my list rattling them. And that's not the list. That's a to-do list, a honey-do list. Outside works. All right, let's just look at this. How about this one? Just listen to this phrase. I read this. It's part of a headline on a reputable, I guess you could say reputable, professional news reporting thingy. These are professional writers. They don't make mistakes, do they? Yeah? Whatever happened to proofreading? Apparently no one does that anymore. So here's the thing. Seafood caught in America. All right, think about this. Seafood caught in America. Now, I'm pretty sure that America is a mass of land, a land mass, and I think seafood is something that is caught in the sea, not in America. So, how about this? Bing. Wrong. Okay, moving on. Let me see what else we got here. I seen. Ooh, does that make my partner get a little, her hackles get up when she hears someone say that. Like, I seen that. I seen 3 people going down the road. And she gets like, that's not right. I saw them going down. Or have seen. I have seen people fall in the swimming pool, without their pants on. Something like that. I seen. No, she doesn't like that. I don't either. It just twists my balls in a bunch. All right. Age of consent. This is the real quick one here. I won't get into the whole thing. But age of consent. Here's what it is. What is the age of consent? I'll tell you what the age of consent is. Nature says what the age of consent is. And all of this stuff made up by the government is fabricated nonsense about, it's 16, it's 14, it used to be something like 12, 11, 10, whatever. 17, 18, 21. Guess what? Wrong. That's not real. That's something somebody made up out of nothing. They just poof, made this up out of their mind. Stupid minds, mindless minds. Age of consent. Nature says that. No humans say that. If nature says, hey, I got tits, I got a vagina, bleed once a month or so, guess what? Got hormones. Body's saying, I want to have sex. Which might be a little added in there consciously or subconsciously. I want to reproduce. And that's when. If your body's saying, I want to have some dick in there, then that's your age. Then you can consent or not based on your mind and on your personal particular situation. I'm not saying, just because you want to, just because you have boobs and a pussy doesn't mean you have to have sex. You can decide. It's your right. That's why it's called consent. I am free to consent when I'm, when my body says I'm ready. And your body says you're ready, when you start to bleed. That means that's a sign. That's a sure sign. All right, moving on. We'll get back to that in another show. Something else. All right. American flag. This one's easy. No such thing as an American flag. To my knowledge, there's never been an American flag. Flags don't represent countries. Flags represent governments. It's always been that way. The flag of England represents, the government of England. Sometimes flags represent the king in the old days. This is a flag that represents the king of France. There's no American flag. The flag that we have with the stars and the stripes on it, that originated back, way back here, about 1770s, 1780s, when the Union of American Countries, states, with a capital S, when the Union of American States, like 13 of them, said, we need some kind of flag, because, it's kind of cool to have a flag. And, it's nice to have a banner and some guys out in the front of the war soldiers, marching along and a thing and march behind that nationalism. Well, back in those days, the state was a nation. Virginia was a country. It had a government. So the flag is the representation of, we got this union here. We just agreed to be a union of states, the 13 of us. So let's just, we need a flag to represent this union, which is a union of states. It's not America. It's not even a flag representing a country of America. It is a flag representing that union, and the union is completely 100% political. In other words, based on a government that they created by uniting these 13 colonies or states into a government, a central government, a nationalist government, or federal government. So the flag is not the American flag, it's the United States flag. And by the way, America is the name of the country, a landmass. And, don't give me that stuff about North America and South America. That's two different things. So, what we got is union, representing the union, which is the government formed by the Union. You could even go so far as to say it was the corporation, or the incorporation of the states into a union. All right? Which is a totally like a fictitious entity. Yeah, it's like an abstract. It's not real. Okay. All right. U.S. citizens versus American citizens. U.S. citizens are citizens that the United States government created and gave them citizenship. They are not first citizens, they are second citizens. And, we like to be equal and all that, and that's cool. But legally speaking, if the United States government says to you, and let's say you came over here from, Poland or England or France or some damn place, or Iraq or Japan or China and so forth, or Mexico, and you come here and you say, I'm going to live here. And they say, all right, then, you'll be a citizen here. Because that's what they call people who live in a place. Citizen's kind of a word relating to government and social, political scenarios. So, you want to be a citizen of America? You can't be, because only citizens born in America are born in America. They're born, raised in America, they're American citizens. And that's a natural right, natural born citizen. So, that would be an American citizen. Well, the Constitution says something. I'm pretty sure the Constitution says something about that, saying you are a citizen of the state in which you reside. I don't see anything in there where it says you're a citizen of the United States government, unless, let's say, check out the 14th Amendment. That's where it says, we'll make you a citizen. Like the Negroes at the time, slaves. Let's just say slaves. Freed slaves. We'll make you a citizen of America. Now, no, they're not. They'll make you citizens of the United States government because it's the government making you the citizen. You weren't natural born. You were created. The citizenship was created. So you're a citizen. So you're a United States citizen because the government granted you the privilege of being a part of the corporation called the United States government. And you can live wherever you want in the United States, any one of those 50 states, and, you're still a United States citizen. I am not a United States citizen because I'm not a freed slave. I am not a descendant of a freed slave. And you know what? I was born in America, so I was a citizen of America by nature, by natural law. But the fact that I was born here, I am an American citizen. If you came over here when you were 4 years old with your parents from, some other country, like over in Mexico or Europe or France or something, and you come over here and I'm going to live here. And your mom and dad say, you're going to live here, son or daughter. And yeah, that's cool, I guess. And but we gotta get special permission from the government to be legitimate, so we're not like illegal, according to the government. So they're going to grant us the privilege of being citizens of this great country. And you're going to be citizens of the great government because you're not going to be a citizen of America. Now, if you have children here after you're here and you are born, you create. So you come here and you get married, you have some kids, and those children are born here. They were created here. They were made in the womb, here. So yeah, they're born. They're Americans. And all this stuff about, Obama wasn't an American citizen. Really? Yeah, he was. Natural born. Now, there was some question back then, and I still have a question about it now, is that, well, why is there some mystery about this? If there's a mystery about it, then I just want to know what the answer to the mystery is. I'm not questioning whether he was or wasn't born in the United States or America or whatever. I'm just questioning why the secrecy, why the shenanigans. What's that all about? And maybe there wasn't any shenanigans. Maybe somebody made that up just to be an asshole. I don't know. So I don't have any doubt because let me think. His mother was an American, right? But his father was not American. So guess what? If you're born to an American anywhere on this planet, you're an American. I'm pretty sure that's what the law says. All right, move. Now there's more to talk about, and we could discuss yes, no, pros and cons, and all that shit. But I'm pretty sure that Obama was a citizen simply because of the fact that his mother was a citizen. He might not have been living in wherever, but still, if he was born in Hawaii, that's American soil. Oh yeah. By the way, segue. Moving on. Segue. Hawaii is a country occupied by Americans and by an American government, because Hawaii is a sovereign country. Now, I know it's not. Technically, reality, you go there and it's like, it's America. Part of America's 50 states. Yeah, guess what? In 1893, some missionaries, you know what I'm saying, missionaries? Christian dumbass fuckers, were down there trying to get control of the sugarcane crops, and the country pretty much trying to take it over. And the queen was like, hey, I'm a good lady, and my people are happy, just, having fun, living and being cool and free. And we're sovereign citizens of Hawaii. And so these missionaries talked to the president and said to the president, McKinley, I think his name was, and he said, we're American, we're under attack by the natives, or some such nonsense, which was, of course, a lie. So the Navy went down. I think it was the Navy went down because McKinley was an idiot and did that. And they went down there and slaughtered a bunch of Native Hawaiians who owned the country at the behest of the, missionary Christian fuckers. And something like 40,000 people were murdered. Murdered. Women, children, people that owned and lived in Hawaii, the country. And that's how it is that the Americans took over the country, and the missionaries took over the corn, the sugarcane crops and land, and then did some genocide on the Hawaiians. So any Hawaiian that's, any kind of a decent Hawaiian person that knows his history of his country, which is Hawaii, and knows that this is sort of what happened, and they don't like it. And if they do like it, then they're shills for the collaborators with the bad guys. Anyway, that's something there. All right, what else are we talking about? Some other things. Who and whom? Listen, why don't you just don't say whom or whom, either one? Just say that. Like this guy, whom was the husband of this woman. No. Why don't you just say this guy, that was the husband of this woman? And, that way you eliminate the confusion over whether you should say who or whom. And by the way, if you say whom, and you don't put something in front of it like to whom, of whom, by whom, for whom, if you don't have that word in front of whom, don't use it. I mean, seriously, don't be an idiot. Don't be illiterate and stupid. Yeah, like totally non-edge. And I see a lot of people that are like professional writers doing this, using the word whom, when that's not the right word. And they do it, and it irritates the hell out of me. And when I read that, if I don't care what it is I'm reading, a novel or an article or something, and I read that word whom when there's no to or of or by in front of it, I just kind of lose interest in the whole thing I'm reading. It's like, that's just sick. And these are professional writers. They should know better. I think they should be fired until they can get an education and learn not to say whom without a to or of or for or by in front of it. All right, so what else? I read this, and it was in an article I was reading, and what it was is, it said they were something else, whatever. Double were, 2 words, were. Don't they proofread anymore? I proofread. I can't imagine why any professional writer would not proofread. I'm not even that much of a professional writer. It's not like I've got a degree and PhD in, literature or English or writing or anything else. I'm self-educated in that regard, in most regards, actually. So the point is, were, Proofread a little, you dummy. All right, and there's a whole bunch of those examples. All right. Okay, I won't talk about that one. I won't talk about that one yet. I'll wait that for another one. I won't go into that one. It's a little bit complicated. Oh, not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Okay, if you want to use a word as a slang word, that's fine. But if you don't know it's a slang word and you think it's a real word or is a real usage for the word, you're illiterate, you're dumb, you're uneducated, and you shouldn't be talking. I mean, don't talk until you get, educated in the English language and you can actually use it properly. For example, sex is not gender. Two different words. That's why they're two different words, because they mean two different things. You got sex meaning that, gender meaning that. If you mean gender and use the word sex, you're not talking English. You're gibberish. That's just babble. Oh, what sex are you? You can't even have that sentence. That sentence doesn't even function as a sentence. That's like babble. It's like, you can't be a verb. Sex is not a gender. Sex is a thing you do with your genitalia. That's what the word means. It means a physical act with your pecker and your pussy. Genitals. Sex. It's a verb. I had sex, meaning you had sex, meaning you did sexual things with your genitals. I mean, think of it the other way around. We got naked. She sucked my dick, and I shoved my dick in her pussy, and we fucked like rabbits. We had gender. We had gender all night long. Seriously. Who would say that? Like, we were parked in the car along the park in the woods, and it was nice, and we were having, getting all amorous, and we got a little hot and bothered, and, my dick, she reached over and pulled out my dick and started sucking on it and shit, and, and then we just got naked and had gender right there in the front seat. Seriously, we had gender in the front seat. And because we had gender, she got pregnant, we had twins. No, you wouldn't say that, would you? Of course not, because that's not what it means. The word sex means, yeah, fucked her. I fucked her eyes out. Oh, you don't like my language? Yeah, you're in the wrong place, dude. All right, here's the thing. Gender. Sex can be used to mean gender if you want to be an illiterate fool and you want to use a slang word. You can use the word sex to mean the gender, then you're just giving it a meaning that's slang. It's not real. Nothing wrong with slang words. I use slang words a lot too. Also, I mean, what's a slang word? My cock is a slang word for my penis, or erect penis. So yeah, it's slang. And back in the old days when I was a young guy and I was hippies around and stuff, I wasn't really a hippie. I kind of played at it, but I wasn't really a hippie. I had other things in mind. I was trying to become, an author, of an artist and poet and so on. So anyway, back then it was like we'd see something like really cool, and then we'd just say, "Man, that's cool," meaning, "Damn, that's hot," meaning that's like awesome. All right, it wasn't really hot. I mean, it wasn't like burning your fingers. It wasn't like a flame burning out of the end of your brain, shooting out your ears and shit. It was slang. Cool, awesome. Right? Slang word. And then they started saying stuff like, "Man, that is so bad," meaning good. Slang, meaning of the word. Doesn't change the real meaning of the word. You're just using it in a different way that's It's a fad kind of thing. It's not real. It's not really the meaning of the word. You just kind of jerking people around with it. So, okay, we got that. What else? Not that one, not that one. Did that one, not that one. Not that one. Not, nope, 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, here's one. Here's one. This is what a headline I read in an article on the news. These are professional writers, mind you. They get paid money to write the news, reports news, whatever. They might have even gone to college and said, yeah, I got a degree in writing things. And, if they got a PhD and they write like this, they should have the PhD removed from them. Should be taken away because they don't deserve it anymore. Because they just totally wrote gibberish. All right. Here's one. Here it is. He was married to then wife Kate. Okay, he was married to then wife Kate. I'm not even sure that's a complete sentence. He was married to then wife Kate. Now the implication is there he was married to her then, but after that he wasn't. If he was married to Kate, she was his wife. So why would you even say that? All right, moving on. Let's see. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Here we go. The owner of a cafe where employees were hanged heard them speak as they parted. I don't know what that means. All right, one more time. The owner of a cafe whose employees were hanged heard them speak as they parted. They were hanged. As they left the restaurant or the cafe, they were hanged, apparently. I'm pretty sure that didn't happen that way, but that's what he said. The writer should be, whacked in the head with a wet typewriter ribbon or something. All right, real quick here. Wrap this up. Got a couple minutes left. All right. Not that one, not that one, not that one. Okay. All right. These are all a little bit more than one-liners, so. Hold on, I'm looking. Going down the list. Like I said, I got about 5 pages. Churches. Death cult covens. All right. No, that was me saying that. That wasn't wrong. That wasn't a funny mess up of the language. That I'm actually saying that. Like I would say, there's no God. And I have a pretty good idea this is true because there's no evidence. And anything that people present as an argument to kind of say there is wrong or flawed, illogical, irrational, delusional, retarded, stupid, etc. So, no God. There is no God. It's no argument. It's just, there isn't. All right. Not that one, not that one, not that one. Not that one. See, all these things I'm skipping over here are some that I'll just talk about for a whole episode. Things like abortion, gun laws, Supreme Court, criminals, traitors, whatever. Climate change, Pentagon building number 7, 9/11, John Kennedy assassination by the CIA. Oops, UFOs, free enterprise, free market, lots of things. Nudity, Minds of Old Men. I'm going to write a book called Minds of Old Men. And writers and prisons and punishment and people committing crimes in prison, which is pretty weird if you ask me. And there are people that actually say, yeah, when he gets in prison, they'll rape him, And I'm thinking, you sick bastards. So anyway, crimes. Sanctions against foreign countries by the United States, by the way, it's a crime, international crime, it's a capital crime, it's a crime against humanity, and governments like the United States putting sanctions on Russia and China and Japan, and which they did back in the old days, which caused World War II, by the way, as far as the United States being involved is concerned, which is a crime by the United States. And they knew damn well that the Japanese were heading towards Pearl Harbor, so don't tell me they didn't, because they did, and they know, and it's been testified, and plenty of documentation proving it. The president knew about it and said, "Stay where you are and don't fight back and get murdered by the Japanese," and because we need an excuse to go to war with Japan. Blah blah blah. It's just disgusting, the history of America sometimes. Well, the history of the United States government anyway. Oh, by the way, witches. No such thing as witches. And yet, they burned them and stuff. Rape, burned, tortured, witches. There's no witches. So, those people were like really stupid back in those days. And they still think something, oh yeah, people still think, oh, they're witches. Yeah, right. No, there aren't. You're an idiot. Go back and live in the 1200s or something. Global warming, Tooth Fairy, Santa Claus, Flat Earth. Flat Earth, really? There are people who think the world is flat. Today? Really? Really? I don't want to know these people. They're just too stupid to breathe. Seriously. All right. Decent cigarette. We need one because the government and the tobacco companies have been fucking over us for a long time now. Here's a good phrase I read. 15 states where Americans don't want to live anymore. Think about that. There's a headline on an article. It actually said that. Let me read it again. The 15 states where Americans don't want to live anymore. I don't think the guy that wrote that ever went to college. I'm not sure he even went through high school, because that's just you could see, apparently there are 15 states where Americans don't want to live anymore. They want to die, apparently. According to that sentence, that's what it sounds like. They don't want to live, they want to die. I would just say, if you don't want to live anymore, then because you live in a certain state, then you might want to just move to another state where you might actually want to live and stay alive and not kill yourself or whatever. Anyway, there's that. People who are shouting, USA, USA, they're actually saying America. No, they're not saying America. They're saying United States government, the United States government, the United States government, the United States government. So, you know what I'm saying? They're not shouting America. If they meant America, they would have said America, right? No, they're praising and glorifying the government. A totally stupid thing to do. And so forth. There's still more. I've still got another page or two. Israel, genocidal fake state. Shinston, that fiasco, the government of Shinston, those bastards. I'll get into that. Tax records, President Trump. It's his business. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with you. None of your business. So, fuck off. Asking about those taxes. If he wants to do it, that's his business. Not a law, no requirement, no necessary, and besides, it's private. I'm pretty sure the Constitution says we are secure in our private business affairs, financial affairs, bank accounts, etc., etc. And I know in America today that the government just totally ignores the rules, the Constitution, and everything, and violates everybody's rights. But it's not supposed to be that way. And the people that do that should be treated like terrorists and traitors, and removed from the planet. Okay, just removed from society would be good enough, I guess. Sex offender registry, no. Repeal it. Title 18, repeal it. It's the most abominable law ever. Just disgusting. Gay marriage. Okay, marriage is not, state marriage is not marriage, by the way. It's not. It's a program, fraudulent government program. It all started, invented back in 1859. It has nothing to do with real marriage. Blah, 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 blah. So anyway, here we go. One last note before I quit. Oh, by the way, nudity is not a crime, ever, period. Case closed, end of story. Never, ever. And neither is sex, by the way. Rape is a crime, sex is not. All right, so here, my two sons, I haven't seen them for about 20 years. I haven't talked to them for about 20 years. I'm suspicious of that. I think it's probably because their mother, who I loved and was married to for about 18 years, I loved her, and apparently at some point she decided she didn't love me. And so she took my kids and just disappeared one day when I wasn't home. And, I wasn't living here, but came to visit the kids and, poof, nobody here. Furniture gone. Took my furniture even, mine, all of it. And, not even leave half. She just took it all. And she took my kids and made it very uncomfortable for me and said, I'm going to turn them against you and you're going to just be sorry. But I didn't do anything to deserve that. And so I haven't seen my kids for like 20 years, and they're just down the road about, 10 miles or so. They know where I live, and they just don't talk to me. And I talk to them sometimes. I send them letters and mail and gifts and stuff, and they never say thanks or even acknowledge it or anything. And that's disgusting. It's their mother's fault. Pretty sure it is. Pretty sure. Anyway, we'll get on to that some other time. Anyway, if you know my sons, Evan and Connor, tell them. Talk to their father. He's getting old. It's going to be too late one of these days, and you'll be sorry. And I'll be sorry until the day I die. I shouldn't have let them do that. Shouldn't have let my ex-wife get away with that. And there were things I could have done, but I didn't. By the word is species, not species. There's no sh in there. It's a C. Species. All right, just so you know. Mature is not mature. It's M-A-T, mature. Mature. Okay, we'll check that out. No such thing as sex addiction, by the way. So anyway, there you go. That's a few things, and gonna wrap it up here. So, D. McClung, Art of Monologues. That's where I talk, and you don't. See you next time.